Hey guys, what's up? It's Eben from the Epic Eben, and today we are gonna be going over a Minecraft Enchantment tier list. So this is the tier list here, and basically what we have is we have S tier, A tier, B tier, this is C tier, D tier, and F tier. So I have everything based on enchantment power 1, just so that it's all like equal, I guess. But yeah, let's get right into it. So starting at F tier, we have one enchantment, and I'm sure all of you already know what this one is. Bane of Arthropods! This enchantment is the worst enchantment in the game. It's only useful when you're killing spiders or cave spiders, and you barely ever kill those. So that's why that's the only enchantment that's F tier. So in the D tier, we have fire protection, blast protection, projectile protection, and smite. Basically, they can actually be better than protection or sharpness, but protection and sharpness are better overall, whereas all of these, they're more situational. And smite, it is better than Bane of Arthropods because you usually kill zombies and zombies and skeletons more than you kill spiders. So, alright, what's next? Okay, respiration. I believe respiration is the one that helps you breathe underwater more, and that's in C tier because it's alright. Like, it's useful. Don't get me wrong, like, you do need to be able to breathe, but I find it also kind of goes with Depth Strider and Aqua Affinity. Depth Strider, it helps you move faster underwater, and Aqua Affinity, it helps you mine faster underwater. But really the only time that you're actually underwater is when you're raiding an ocean monument or when you're exploring a pirate ship. So these get into C tier just because they're a bit more situational. Like, very situational, but they are still better than these four. So, alright, this one. So then also in C tier we have Silk Touch. Now, I know this is definitely going to oppose a lot of your opinions on Silk Touch, but here's my reasoning. Silk Touch, I think it's in the kind of okay tier because you really only need it for one thing, and it's not getting spawners because you actually can't mine spawners well with Silk Touch, which in my opinion is kind of stupid, but I guess it would kind of be a bit too OP. So, and also, really sometimes it can actually be a disadvantage because I once had a Silk Touch axe, and whenever I tried to harvest melons, I would just get the actual melon, and it's better for storage, but you can't really do much with the actual melon block. So then Riptide, it's fun, I guess, but it's not very practical unless you're kind of moving around, and it also only works in rain or in water. And the last one, Channeling. Now, okay, PewDiePie fans, I know you'll get mad at me because, oh, well, PewDiePie needed to use the channeling enchantment so that he could make his army of pee-pee-poo-poo pigmans. Yeah, I know. But channeling, again, it only works in the rain, and even though it is very powerful, you lose your trident if it's used by itself. So that's the C tier. What's actually in the B tier? Frostwalker, it's, again, it is fun, but it's a bit more practical than Riptide because it actually lets you just walk across, like, oceans. Like, ever be fighting a wither, but then it flies across the ocean? With Frostwalker, you can just walk across. But yeah, so Frostwalker, again, it's pretty good, I guess. What is it? Sorry, that's Riptide. Knockback, so that's our first sword enchantment. And why did I put Knockback into B tier? Well, I mean, if you knock an enemy back, then it's not always the best thing because, you know, because you'll knock them away, and then like if it's a skeleton, well, you just gave the skeleton a great combat bonus. But normally it is pretty good. And then fire aspect. Again, also, it can kind of be a disadvantage if you're fighting against mobs, because you'll hit a zombie but then with fire aspect, but then if the zombie hits you back, then you also have fire, then you're on fire now. I mean, I guess if you use fire protection, then I guess it's fine, but again, you're using a D tier enchantment to defend against a B tier enchantment, and you might want to rethink that. Wait, what, did I put channeling in twice? Yes, I did. So the next one we have Lure. So Lure, it's good, and I think it's just in general good, but it's kind of outlasted by, please say this, Luck of the Sea. Nope, by Luck of the Sea. Just because Luck of the Sea, it helps you get more enchanted items, whereas Lure just helps you get more items. So then, Impaling. Impaling is another trident enchantment, and I believe it helps with, I'm not sure what Impaling or Piercing does, but I think Impaling is the one where it helps you at close range, and I don't really think of close range as, like, and I don't really think of close range when I fight with a trident. Also, if I'm wrong about Impaling and Piercing, then just switch them around, because if Impaling does more damage when you throw it, then it belongs in the tier that Piercing is in, because I mixed them up. So then we still have two more in the B tier, and those are Multi-Shot and Quick Charge. The reason these are both of the crossbow specific enchantments, and the reason I put them in here is because Multi-Shot, when you shoot it, sometimes it can actually be pretty hard to like hit multiple mobs, and Quick Charge, it just makes your bow or a crossbow quicker. And I think the thing about that is you don't really use crossbows too much, or I don't at least, just because it requires too many arrows, since you can't enchant them with infinity. At least not in this version. So then, moving on to the A tier, which is the most plentiful tier. What do we have? We have Protection 1. So again, or this can go up to Protection 5, but basically, the reason I put it in A tier instead of S tier is because it only goes on your armor, which it is pretty stylish, but I mean, you don't really need it. Like, actually, wait, no, hold on. You do need it. Protection is good. It's the best. It's A tier. Like, it's a lot better than any of these, just because of the fact that it's better all around. And the same goes for Sharpness. It's better all around, compared to like Smite and Bane Arthropods, which are better in situations. But then we also have Efficiency. Efficiency is really good just because it makes everything faster. And the reason it's not in S tier is because it does break your tools a lot faster. But, I mean, when you pair it with Unbreaking, which I believe is this next one, there we go, Unbreaking, then it pretty much becomes, sorry, my controller disconnected, then it pretty much becomes supercharged almost. So then moving on, we have Power 1, and the reason I chose Power into A tier is because it's kind of like Sharpness, I suppose, to the point where it's just stronger. And we also have Punch in A tier. So now a lot of you are probably wondering, why did I put Punch in A tier, but Knockback in B tier? Well, it's just because of the weapons you put them on. Punch, it knocks your enemies away when you're using a bow, which actually puts them in the perfect position. While Knockback puts them in a negative position because you want them to be closer to you when you're fighting with a sword. So then, we also have Flame. And Flame, again, why is it better than Fire Aspect? It's because you want your enemies to be on fire, but you don't want them to be hitting you and lighting you on fire. And they don't if you use Punch, or if you just hit a lot of shots with your bow. I already went over the Luck of the Sea. and I already went, and piercing, kind of went over what I did impaling, and if impaling does more damage, and if I get impaling and piercing switched, again, if impaling is, again, I want the one that increases hitting damage in the B tier and the one that increases throwing damage in the A tier. Could I please get a comment telling me which is which? I seriously do not know. And that's piercing, and then, alright, here we go. Mending. Why did I put mending in A tier? It is one of the best enchantments. It's the enchantment that you cycle through villagers just to get. But why did I put it in A tier then? Because it's the only, because it's one of the only enchantments that has a disadvantage. Same with efficiency. Efficiency makes your tools break faster, but that's just because it's more efficient. But mending, it slows your XP gain. And I guess if you have fully enchanted gear, you don't really need to worry about XP. But if you don't, then you kind of do. Now, moving on, we have the S5. So, what are these 5? These 5 are what I call the S5. I call them the S5 because they are truly what I think to be some of the best enchantments in Minecraft. They are super good, have no disadvantages, and go just over the top. So, starting off, Thorns. Thorns is one of the super good ones just because if enemies hit you, pow, they're dead. And if someone tries to attack you with low health, pow, they're dead. Guess you should have remembered that I have thorns. Then the next, we have looting. Now, you can have your own opinions about this, but I think that it's super good in the late game when you're trying to get stuff like blaze rods and ender pearls. And, again, fortune. Fortune is also kind of like looting, but almost in a way better because you can get a bunch more diamonds. And coal, I guess. You can't really use fortune for much just because it doesn't work on iron or gold, which, yeah, so that is kind of a disadvantage, but again, that's just the way the game works, because you'd otherwise be able to get infinite iron by mining an iron, getting 2 iron ore, and then placing those down, and then mining those to get 4. You get where I'm going? So then, for the 4th, we have infinity. This is a super good enchantment, and I kind of find it funny how PewDiePie called it, like, garbage. Like, he got infinity on his villager, and then he was like, ew, stop selling me garbage, even though he was selling one of the best enchantments in the game. Just because you have infinite arrows on a bow. So then, if you guys have been smart and following along, you probably know what this enchantment is. But yes, it hasn't showed up on the tier list yet, and I don't mean it's the best. I just say that you probably know which this one is, and it's loyalty. Loyalty is really good because if you enchant a trident with loyalty, it actually does make it come back to you. So when you throw it, it comes back to you, and that really gives a 5 times buff to the throwing capability of tridents. So that was my enchantment tier list. And if you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe. Also, I would greatly appreciate it if you leave a comment saying if you had any changes that you would make. Okay? And please don't call me an idiot and saying that, oh my god, you should have put mending in S tier. Oh my god. Please do not do that. But please fairly share your opinion, and yeah. So that's going to wrap up this episode of Minecraft tier lists. See you next time!